Give the video a like, everybody. Subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Let me check my subscribers real quick because I have a feeling we have not hit 4,000. Y'all are not to blame. Clearly, I'm to blame, and that's fine. I'll take that. No, we sure we have not fucking hit 4,000. Ain't this a bitch? 22 subscribe. You know what? I'm not going to even, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going to change the subject. Don't forget, everybody, like I said, this Saturday, the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat. If you want to participate, be looking on the community section coming up this weekend or on Patreon, or get at the good Sistren, Anna, Lorraine, and Learn Life Abby, please and thank you. Was there something? Was something else I had to tell y'all? I don't remember. That's fine. So let me get to this last story. And this story has developed a bit. And it flared up really quick, and then it simmered down really quick. So this week in the Washington area, in Fairfax County, Virginia, to be specific, which is in Northern Virginia, early morning, there was a story about a barricade situation at an apartment complex. There was a very large police response. Fairfax County police went out that bitch deep, right? They were showing the pictures on the news. Large police response. Man reported to be barricaded inside of an apartment. Another person reported to be dead. Police are searching the apartment, trying to clear the building, blah, blah, blah. Well, it did turn out that somebody was barricading themselves. And it did turn out that somebody was dead. And the two persons were both U.S. Park Police. Now, U.S. Park Police patrol the national parks, right? Y'all should know that. In the D.C. area, however, there are a number of roadways, heavily traveled highways, that are under the purview of the U.S. Park Police. One of those being the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, which takes you right from New York Avenue in D.C. all the way to downtown Baltimore, right? 295. The George Washington Parkway on the Virginia side is also, I believe, under the purview of U.S. Park Police. So Park Police in this area are the fucking police, right? They not just, they're not the park rangers out here. They are the goddamn cops. In fact, they have killed people. Most notably, this beautiful, beautiful South Asian man. His name was Bijan Gazar. He was an accountant. He was tragically murdered by U.S. Park Police several years ago. His family have been fighting relentlessly to try to get justice for him. But the park police are the police out here. They are as dangerous as other police agencies, right? So in this case, on this particular morning I'm speaking of in Northern Virginia, a cop was killed, and it turns out that he was killed by another cop, and both of them happen to be U.S. Park Police. And I want us to go to WUSA 9 in DC to sort of pick up the story from there. So let's take a listen.
Good morning, Wisdom. Well, I'm waiting for answers from the Park Police on several questions this morning having to do with the background and training of the officers involved before one of them shot his coworker by mistake, according to police. And police say that alcohol is believed to have been a factor in this incident, but police say it happened in the apartment building behind me. There were 4 people in an apartment, and 3 of them were off-duty park police officers when a 22-year-old officer was shot and killed. And we're learning more information as the day goes on. But police say 25-year-old Alexander Roy shot and killed 22-year-old Jesse Brown Hernandez. Fairfax County Police used the term dry firing. They say Roy was trying to, quote, dry fire the weapon. They say dry firing means pulling the trigger on a gun when it's unloaded, but it turned out that it was loaded. Roy is now being held at the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center on no bond. He's facing a charge of involuntary manslaughter, and Park Police so far has given us a statement saying the agency is aware of the incident and focused on supporting the family, friends, and coworkers of our employees involved in this tragic incident. And this morning, I'll be checking on when Roy is expected to appear in court because he is being held. And of course, many questions for Park Police about how these officers were trained. Park Police operate for safety and security on federal lands and federal parks. We have a substantial Park Police presence in the D.C. area, but they are stationed across the country. So I have a number of questions on when weapons are given to these officers, at what point, after how much training are they allowed to bring them out in their private homes, and what is their policy on that after what's happened here in the apartment behind me.
Excellent questions that reporter has prepared for the U.S. Park Police. And guys, I wanted to bring you guys that story again. We don't revel in the loss of life or whatever, I guess, but like when our enemies take each other out, like it's like, well, damn, I didn't even have to do nothing, did I? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that these cops behave in such reckless ways with the public and that they behave in such reckless ways with each other, it should be a clear indication that there was something innately rotten within policing culture. Now we know this, right? The institution of policing founded on, fugitive slave catching. Again, there's no way that this institution could ever be right, just, or, actually um um being able to wield justice in a fair way for all the public, right? There's no it's impossible for police to do that simply based off its foundation. But there's something the matter here where these young officers, the accused is 25 years old, the victim 22 years old. If you have any experience with guns, we've talked about this sometimes on this show. One of the first rules they teach you about gun safety is you never point a gun at anything or anyone that you don't intend to shoot, regardless if the gun is loaded or not. Because why? You never know if the fucking gun is loaded. You should assume that it is loaded. And if you are wielding a loaded gun, you probably shouldn't point it at a person and pull the trigger, right? That's part of the reason I was so furious. Again, with not to be switching subjects too much, but the whole Tory Lane's Megan the Stallion thing, because he pointed a gun at her that he knew was loaded and he pulled the fucking trigger. What did he thought was gonna happen? She was gonna get shot, right? She could have been killed. Same thing with this. Alcohol was involved. Wow, wow, wow. So U.S. Park Police officers get drunk and they pull out their guns and they pretend to shoot each other. Jesus Christ. And very quickly, this young officer was charged with involuntary manslaughter, denied a bond, as you heard there in the package. I did find it curious that the police were quick to put out the statement that this was an accident. I mean, sure, we can look at it on its surface as being an accident. But if it were an intentional shooting, if there was some malice behind it, I think it's a little premature to say that it was an accident because this nigga could have been mad at this nigga, at the other nigga, right? He could have shot him because he was pissed and drunk, right? I'm always very dubious and skeptical when police come out with a very quick explanation. Why? Because police lie. Okay, they lie all the time. Usually the first story that comes out is the first lie, right? That's the first lie. They gotta float that one out there to see how that one tests. Oh, the people and the public are calling bullshit. Hold on, let's retool this lie. Okay, let's edit this one. Okay, let's put out the second lie. Right? So the fact that they're saying it's an accident, I have to assume it's a lie because the cops lie about every fucking thing, right? Um, but it seems that there was a real quick resolution. The guy was arrested, he was charged, he's being detained. Case closed, nothing to see here. Well, I think there's actually a lot to see here. About the culture and even how police deal with each other. We've seen this even here on this platform. I've done stories about police using their position to sexually harass and in some cases assault even their own coworkers, right? There was something about power and domination that they are not even able to view themselves humanely, right? So this is not a training issue. Like there was of course these young people were trained not to dry fire, not to point guns at anyone, least of all your coworkers, and pull the trigger. This is about who they hire. This is about the kind of psychological disposition of the hires of these police agencies. And again, circling back to the age of these of the victim and the perpetrator, these police departments are so, according to them, short staffed that it sounds like they're hiring any fucking body out here, right? Listen, Fire fam, I don't recommend it unless you down bad, right? If you down bad, you might could go be the police out here and get you a nice little signing bonus and everything. We would have to, you'd have to be, trying to disrupt police operations from the inside for us to still fuck with you, of course. But if you needed a steady gig and you needed a quick signing bonus and some benefits, I wouldn't be terribly mad at you, but you have to be a force for disruption on the inside. Much like this person. No, let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Shut up. That's not nice, Kim. That's not nice. But anyway, I wanted to share that story with you guys because there is something the matter with the people really in this profession. All of them, even the ones who claim to join in order to reform the system from the inside, in order to do some good in the community. No. Everybody knows what the police do. Everybody knows the power that the police wield. And everybody knows that by and large, whenever police decide to turn bad or violate people's civil, constitutional, and human rights, by and large, they are permitted to do so. And anyone entering into that institution who doesn't know that, number one, is lying to themselves. But I think that a certain type of individual, in a predatory kind of way, knows that that uniform and that badge and that gun give them dominance over the rest of us, and they count on that. That's something that they look for. They get high off that. There's a boost there, either in ego or in status or whatever. And you can't fix that. You can't rein that in. And when that kind of attitude and that kind of mindset rears itself and even claims one of its own, we could just point and be like, see, we told y'all the police is fucked up out here.